night, even though I went to bed early. I could not go to sleep. Oh. So I was just thinking up ideas and planning out some things for a pollinator garden that I'm trying to get started here in this little garden bed that we have at the rental. And so I think I'm going to play around with that today because the weather is supposed to be pretty nice. And I'm going to move some of these plants around a little bit. And I think tomorrow it's supposed to rain, so today's probably the best day to play with that. And I brought this guy outside. It's going to be a beautiful day for him to come out. So hopefully we'll catch that a little bit later. So yeah, let's get dirty. Dig around some stuff today. And Rufus says hello. Hello, Rufus. You helping? Are we gonna have to take a bath later? Yes, we are. Looks like he's opened up a little bit, starting to come out. Welcome to the world, butterfly. Little butterfly. Now it's got to pump up its wings. I'm gonna go inside, take a shower, get some coffee, and I'll come back and check on it in a little bit. Well, I think I've got a handle on the replanting of the garden for the most part. I centered my, well, I didn't really center it in the garden bed, but I made it kind of more of a center point focally my flowering maple, and then I surrounded it by some salvia. So these are I think they're called skyscraper salvia. They look little now because I've cut them back after the frost, but they'll grow up these big shoots kind of like that when they start flowering again. And then this is another salvia type that puts out pink flowers. So all of those are great for hummingbirds and butterflies. I've got this red fountain skullcap, which is another great one for hummingbirds. This one is more of a mounding that'll put up shoots with red flowers in it. I've got some fall color for the butterflies, hopefully, and the bees. I can't remember what those are called. This is my bat-faced cufia, which is great for hummingbirds, and it'll get nice and big and bushy in the spring when it starts growing back again. This one I can't remember what it's called either, but I got it on sale at the nursery. Puts out these tubular red flowers, another great one for hummingbirds. Here's some more salvia that I had. I couldn't really figure out what I wanted to do with that. So for now I just put it in this pot here. Lots of space to add in something, I'm not sure. We'll see what strikes me when we get closer to spring. And then I've got this whole section for my milkweeds. This year I had so many monarchs that I had to keep buying more and more milkweeds. So I've got these little swamp milkweeds. That one right there is actually called a giant milkweed, even though it looks like the smallest one. But it puts out these big gorgeous leaves and really beautiful purple flowers, so I'm excited for that to start growing back. And then I've got some tropical milkweed here that's starting to grow back after it was decimated by my last lot of caterpillars and frost. Here, these look pretty small right now, but these two are firecracker plants, which is a type of Cufia. And they'll get bushy again in the spring, and they put out tubular red flowers for the hummingbirds. And then I've got a little border of blanket flowers for some fall color and for the butterflies. My poor sad Turk's cap, I think it's gonna be angry with me because I just replanted it in this pot. But it was doing so great over the summer, and then its leaves started doing this, getting crispy and brown, and I can't find any info online about why it's so unhappy. And I trimmed back a bunch of these parts that were just crispy and gross, and it's already started putting out some new growth. So hopefully it won't be too mad at me that I just dug it up and repotted it. Hopefully it'll get a little bit more sun in this spot. And then last but not least, I've got my bee balm, which I've had for a while now, but it hasn't bloomed at all, but it keeps growing out nice and bushy. So hopefully in the summer it'll give me some blooms. I've also got this little phlox, mini pearl phlox. I'm not quite sure what to do with it, but it's butterflies and hummingbirds, and I think bees as well, really are supposed to enjoy phlox. So it'll get a little taller and bushier with pretty white flowers in the spring. So that's how we're looking right now. And I'm a lot happier with this new layout. I think it's gonna look nice once everything starts blooming in the spring. Well, the sun's starting to go down, and unfortunately Mr. Butterfly, I don't think he's gonna make it. I've been keeping an eye on him all day, but I noticed when I got back from the grocery store that he was on the ground when I went to go check on him, and I think he must have fallen down when his wings were still being spread out, and one of his top wings is kind of folded, so I don't think he can fly. I've tried moving him to the sunny spots of the yard, hoping that his wing would eventually fold out all the way. I've tried giving him a little bit of orange water, but now it's just getting cold because the sun's going down and he doesn't have a lot of strength, and that's just the way it goes sometimes. It's sad. I get invested in them. But nature's tough. Being a butterfly is tough. So I guess I'm just gonna say goodbye to him and let nature take its course and go inside and make some dinner. Bye, buddy. Sorry. Well, I can't have Vlogmas end on that poor, sad butterfly. Andy thinks I should just cut out telling you guys that it died. Anyway. So, in some happy knitting news, I've been watching several advents and getting total advent envy over everybody's little yarn advents and minis and what projects they're making out of them. So irrationally, I decided to do my own little, it's not really an advent, but my little scrappy project that I've been meaning to cast on for a while and just never have, which is the I think it's called the Fly North blanket, or the Northeasterly blanket. Oh my gosh. I'll put the real title in the bottom because I can't remember anything. But so I went through my scrap yarn bucket, which
is embarrassingly large. But I just cannot get rid of yarn. Even after the amount that I sent with my mom when we moved, I still have a very large scrap yarn bucket. So I wound up some 20-gram minis to get me started. And I cast on a few days ago, maybe last Wednesday, and I've just been working on it little bits here and there. So this one I think is Miss Babs Yummy 2-ply, I think, and it's a color that I used a million years ago in my Isabel shawl sample, and I've held on to that for like 4 years. And then this is some Knox Yarn Company. I can't remember the colorway name, but it's on the merino mohair blend. This is what I originally bought from Danielle to see how I liked working with this yarn before I brought it to my shop, and I love it. So I'm just getting in a few rows when I feel like it. I think I'm gonna work on it a little bit tonight and watch some Mrs. Maisel and head to bed and hopefully be ready for a work day tomorrow. So good night, everybody.